17 years ago, when I was first elected as county executive, came up with a slogan, and it still continues as today, putting Essex County first. Because prior to me becoming the county exec, there's no question this county was in financial trouble and a lot of work needed to be done. So we used that, and to today, that's what we continue to do. And what's that all about? 22 teams, 22 towns, 800,000 people. And our strength in this county differs from any other county. This county is the most diverse county in the state of New Jersey. And that is the reason why we are here today. This is a team. This is a very strong team that's dedicated to helping the people of Essex County from one end to the other end. We have all heard about the challenges that the city of Newark has been facing concerning the level of lead in their drinking water. Water testing is being done. The use of filters is being recommended. And the city has distributed over 39,000 filters. Bottled water is being distributed, and chemical balance of the water is being checked. The constant throughout this challenge has been the fact that the one agreed upon a long-term solution to address the presence of lead in their drinking water is to replace the lead water pipes leading from the water main to the individual properties. To the mayor's credit, the city has started that process and changed over the lines on 700 properties. But with 18,000 properties, Newark is estimating it will take upwards of 10 years to complete. As an elected official, I don't want to wait that long. I want this long-term solution to happen sooner rather than later. Over the last week, the mayor and I have been meeting, and we are proud to announce a partnership in which the Essex County Improvement Authority will lend the city of Newark $120 million that the city can use only for their pipe replacement program. This will allow them to ramp up the program and reduce the time it takes to change every pipe to 24 to 30 months instead of a decade. Through our conservative budgeting practicing and the recurring revenue we have received, we earned a AAA bond rating for the first time in Essex County history. This assistance would not have been possible 5, 10, or 15 years ago because of the financial pressure we were experiencing at the county level. The AAA bond rating is an obscure achievement to the public, but today clearly demonstrates why it is so important. Because our fiscal health, we are able to borrow money at a significant lower rate that will save Newark upwards of $15 to $20 million in interest over the life of the bond. We are pleased to pass along these significant financial savings into Newark and help modernize its water system so all residents, pregnant mothers, babies, seniors, and the infirm included, have safer water to drink. This challenge was too important to ignore, and I am happy that Essex is able to help. This agreement was put together in about a week, and it took the cooperation of many people. My team, the Essex County team, Phil, Teresa, Bill Payne, Ileana, Robert Jackson, Courtney, and Mark, my financial guy. The other team, of course, is my partner, Mayor Baraka and his team. There's no question, no one could do it alone. You have to be together, and I got to tell you, Mayor Baraka is doing a great job, and along with the City Council, working together is making this all happen. Freeholder Governor Murphy and his team. Let me just say this about Governor Murphy. When he became the governor, he was on this issue on day one, working closely with Mayor Baraka. And I want to thank you, Governor, for your support that you've given the city of Newark. Freeholder President Brendan Gill, Vice President Wayne Richardson, and the entire Freeholder Board, thank you. Steve Rother, Clyde Otis, and the ECI Board, thank you for your support. This agreement we have outlined today demonstrates what can be accomplished when the different levels of government work together. Work together. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock at the Newark City Council, they will be voting on this issue. At 4 o'clock at the Freeholder meeting, the Freeholders will be reviewing this and voting on this issue. At 5 o'clock, the ECIA will be voting on this issue tomorrow night. The only thing left after that is local government services, which we already filed with them, and hopefully we can get it as quickly as possible so we can move forward. These challenges are also being experienced in Bloomfield, Belleville, and Nutley, which purchases water from Newark. I have already met with officials from each of those municipalities and offered them the same partnership agreement. At this time, I'd like to bring up Clyde Otis to talk in reference to the ECIA. Clyde?
Thank you, County Executive DiVincenzo, and thank you to all of our esteemed guests here, as well as the board of the Essex County Improvement Authority, the Board of Commissioners, its chair, Stephen Klinghoffer, its executive director, Stephen Rother, our general counsel, Gill, all appreciate the opportunity to participate in this partnership with the city of Newark and at the advice of the county executive to get this project moving forward as swiftly as possible. So, as we know, and as the county executive has said, lead service lines are a national issue. There's a lot of talk about the lead service lines throughout the nation. The problem is generating the money necessary to be able to deal with it expeditiously and comprehensively. Last week, the Essex County Improvement Authority got a call from the county executive, and the county executive was curious as to why we could not use the AAA rating that the county has to partner with the city to be able to create the fund necessary to be able to deal with this comprehensively and aggressively and match the city's already aggressive response to the lead service line replacement issue. The city had laid out a 10-phase program in the past. They've already instituted the phase 1 and phase 2. They've already changed 770 plus lines of lead service lines throughout the city. And the only thing that was stopping them from dealing with this more comprehensively and more aggressively was the pool of funds. County executive called up Steve Rother and asked whether or not we would be able to assist. Steve Rother, of course, responded yes, and the professionals got started quickly. The mayor immediately came to meetings. There were countless meetings last week regarding trying to move this matter forward. Our professionals, John Drakowitz at Givens Law and Jennifer Edwards at Acacia Financial, John Drakowitz came up with he recognized that the city had already been dealing with this in an emergent fashion. And he suggested that perhaps we should be able to use an emergency appropriation, do a refunding bond of $120 million to provide the city with the funds that it needs to be able to deal with this comprehensively, and then take that bond out with an ECIA bond using the county's guarantee. Their AAA rating would allow us to be able to create that pool as quickly as possible and allow the city to be able to move that 10-phase project that they were anticipating from a 10-year project down to below 3 years. 2 years probably is what we're anticipating you would do. So this collaboration, as the county executive has alluded to, has allowed us to be able to create this fund and to move this matter forward as expeditiously as the city wishes to do. The city has been an incredible partner, and we couldn't do this without the governor's office. The governor, once the governor heard about this this project, it was an immediate endorsement of this project, immediate support to see what we can do. He's here now because of his support for this county, for this state, and so we're happy that within 1 week of the county executive having come up with this idea, we've been able to put the bodies in place, the meetings in place, to be able to achieve this legislatively. Thank you.
I'd like to hear from Mayor Baraka.
Thank you. First, I would like to thank Essex County Executive Joe DiVincenzo, Governor Phil Murphy, for their unwavering support of the people of this city. Obviously, he's thanked all of the folks on his team, and I appreciate the ECIA and the freeholders and everybody on the county side that helped us get to this point today. The meetings we had, the discussions that went on, but I also like to thank the folks on our side, Kareem Dean, Acting Director, Tiffany Stewart, NW Financials, our business administrator, who was there, Senator Ruiz, who made sure that, we had our meetings, the county executive and myself, the municipal council, everybody who participated in making sure that this day was possible. I thank you for understanding the importance of this and getting it done very quickly. We actually here to announce, as was said earlier, $120 million investment made possible by the Essex County Improvement Authority to expedite the modernization of Newark's drinking water and infrastructure at no cost to the affected homeowners. Previously, we had an arrangement with the state of New Jersey. We bonded $75 million. The state of New Jersey subsidized that bond so that our homeowners only had to pay 10% of that. With this new money, we're anticipating that no one would have to pay anything to get their lead service lines actually replaced. We are going to replace approximately 18,000 lead service lines in homes across the city of Newark. And it is critical that we create a permanent solution to modernize Newark's infrastructure and eliminate lead service lines to reduce the risk of lead in the water for all Newark families. Replacing the lead service lines is the only permanent way to address this issue. Since March, we have replaced over 770 lead service lines, and we are so grateful for this additional support to help us dramatically accelerate this important work to replace every lead service line in the city to about 24 to 30 months, given weather and other eventualities that may take place. We want to thank Essex County for the $120 million low-interest bond. It's expected that work can be completed in a much less time than originally anticipated, as was talking about the 8 to 10 years. We are going to do this as swiftly and as humanly possible. We're going to make sure that all of us are on the same page and that we get this done as aggressively as we can. The city has been working around the clock with the governor's office, the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and the filter manufacturer to determine the full scope of the situation and the best course of action. And until additional testing is done on those filters, we're still, out of an abundance of caution, recommending and delivering water to residents that are affected by this problem. We are excited that the corrosion control system is in place and is beginning to work, but now we're even more excited that we get to replace lead service lines as expeditiously as possible. Around the country, the U.S. government had to give $100 million to other municipalities to be able to fix their problem. I am so glad that here in the state of New Jersey, the state, the county, and Newark got together to raise the dollars that we need, not only for the city of Newark, but in the future for many other cities in the Essex County, as the county executive said. So, thank you.
The mayor talked about the city, the county, the state. The one that's lacking is the federal government, and at this time representing the federal government is my good friend Congressman Donald Payne. You got to bring home the cash.
Thank you. Good morning. This is a time where we see what working together can do in a crisis. We have an issue in Newark. The governor, the county executive, the mayor, all get together, step in, and work it out. I'd just like to once again thank the governor and the county executive for stepping in so quickly and finding a solution here at the ECIA for this circumstance. This is not the first time that the county has helped the city of Newark. My time on the city council, there was a budget crisis, and it was the ECIA and once again the county that stepped in and helped us with the lease buyback program that kept us going. So, I just want to thank the county executive once again for standing in the gap when there's an issue of any municipality in this county, that the county is there to rectify the situation. We on the federal level are still in meetings. I have met with members of the Water and Infrastructure Committee in the Congress. I've also spoken to the gentleman from Flint, Michigan, who had an issue. And so I'm looking at what they were able to do on the federal level and dollars they were able to secure. Because yes, this $120 million is going to help, but we know we have infrastructure problems in this city and in this country that need to be rectified. So we are not stopping on the federal level in order to secure funds that will help us fix this infrastructure moving into the future. So thank you.
Thank you, Congressman Payne. I mentioned this in my opening remarks about Governor Murphy. He was here with this challenge from day one, and I just want to thank you, Governor, but not only himself, his staff, his Chief of Staff, George Helmley, his Commissioner McCabe, his Commissioner of Health. I mean, we had a meeting there this past Wednesday, and he had everyone there from his administration there to support. But him himself has been there with the mayor constantly, making sure that this issue gets resolved. Governor Murphy.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. Thank you. I have to get this off my chest. I'm beginning my day in Newark, and I'm ending my day in Newark. And all I can say is this is a warning to MTV and the Video Music Awards. I hope they can assemble as star-studded a cast as the one that I'm standing with this morning. This is a who's who. So, good morning, everybody. And we have our Lieutenant Governor looking on us. Sheila Oliver is with us in spirit, as it is in her room. I want to thank the County Executive Joe D., Mayor Baraka, and their respective teams for their continued dedication to and partnership in tackling the current lead challenges through continued constructive dialogue with those of us at the state level and with the EPA at the federal level. We all know that we have to work faster and harder and together, importantly, to restore residents' trust in their water. Doing so will require broad cooperation at all levels to find solutions. The county executive, Freeholder president, and his colleagues in Essex County are doing just that. It goes without saying that this is a situation that none of us welcomed, but which we are all committed to getting right for the city of Newark and especially for the residents who live here and rely upon access to clean water. Our short-term focus continues to be, as the mayor said, on vigilantly testing the water so that we can fully understand the extent of the challenge and on ensuring residents access to clean water. But even while we continue these efforts, we also have our long-term focus on permanent remediation efforts through the replacement of Newark's nearly 15,000 lead water service lines sooner than later. As we have discussed before, the mayor and his administration and the city council represented here today so strongly, including by its president, Madam President, and the mayor and his administration have been in front of this long-term effort, initiating the city's lead service line replacement program, which has already replaced, as we've heard, over 700 lines in the city. I'm proud of the state's own partnership in helping to finance this project through $12.2 million of support in the first year. So while we are working hard to address the near-term priorities of providing bottled water, and again, we repeat, especially for pregnant women, women who are nursing, young children and infants, and the elderly and infirmed, and at the same time implementing a corrosion control system, we are also clearly focusing on the long-term solutions, including replacing aging water infrastructure. Again, I thank County Executive Joe D. and his team and Mayor Baraka for their continued leadership and partnership throughout this challenge. Thank you.
I just want to thank Mildred Crump, the president of the Newark City Council. I know Louis Quintana's here. Aniba, thank you for yourselves. Osborne and Quintana, thank you. And to our state senators and assembly people, I want to thank them for all their support, and especially our chairman, Leroy Jones. So we're open up for questions now.
Joe, for you and the mayor specifically, we've had testing now, we understand, for a week and a half. Do we have any results from any tests, or are they being held in some secret state somewhere?
No, they're not being held scientific. We do have some results, but NJDEP, EPA, there's a team, a task force of folks that are put together to do these tests, and they want to have the scientific results to be able to tell you definitively whether these filters are working or not. Right now, they have agreed to test about 225 of these filters. At the end of that, they'll make a determination if the findings there are enough, and if not, whether they should go on and test more and how many. But right now, in a preliminary sense, I believe the number is 225 that we're trying to test.
Are they finding any elevated levels in any of these tests so far that they've done?
Well, as I said, it's a scientific thing. I would rather not speak on what those results are right now because I don't want to put out there the wrong information. I would rather them finish, and when they finish, give out a definitive response to that.
May I just add something to the mayor, if I may? We haven't said it today, but every time the mayor and I have been together, whether it's in interviews or in press conferences, we have to remind folks that the actions that have been taken are, as the mayor put it, in an abundance of caution. They were based on 3 data points. In each of those cases, the filters brought the lead levels down meaningfully, but in 2 of the cases, not below the 15 parts per billion. So the mayor, all of us, the county, the state are acting in an abundance of caution, but it's quite clear we need a lot more data points than 3. And until I think all of us feel comfortable, particularly the experts, I'm not an expert, I'll speak for myself, until you have enough data points, there's no use in opining on partial results. We need to have a statistically significant pool.
But Governor, you did it based on 3 data points.
Right.
Is it true that there are EPA tests going back to June of 2017, I believe it is, that have consistently shown that there are high lead levels of water in the water here in Newark?
So the EPA never tested the water in Newark. All tests are done by our water department. We send the results. Let me finish. We send the results to the NJDEP. The EPA got involved because we sent them a pipe so they can test our corrosion control. They actually sent us back the results of that, not in 2017, but in 2018, we got the results from the EPA. We immediately, after we got the results from the EPA, began our filter program in October, where we began giving out about 38,000, 39,000 filters once the EPA made a determination for us that, in fact, it was our corrosion control that wasn't working, and it was in a Pequannock system.
As you know, Mayor, in the lawsuit, the allegation is that there have been consistent tests years back, even as recently as June of this year, showing that throughout the city there are high levels of lead in water. Is that not true?
There's been consistent tests that said that we've had exceedances in the Pequannock system. That's what the truth has been. That's scientifically what they found out. We do the tests, we do the reporting to the NJDEP. Once we do the reporting, we send it out to the residents. So there's nobody who's coming to the city to test for us. We do the test ourselves, right? Once we find something, we send it to the state. The state sends it to the federal government. That's how it works from there. But
These tests suggesting that there's a problem throughout the city.
no. There's no tests that are suggesting that. And that's not what's being said in the court either. The tests are suggesting and have suggested that there's a problem in the Pequannock system. That's what the tests show, that there's a problem in the Pequannock system. In fact, the EPA and the NJDEP have agreed to what those tests say. The scientific results say there's issues in the Pequannock system. That's why we're addressing the Pequannock system. Next.
Mayor Baraka, excuse me. Can you please explain how this $120 million will logistically accelerate the replacement of the pipes?
Well,
in terms of logistics, crews?
yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So right now we have crews working now based on the amount of money that we have. We're going to use some of these contracts and expand it. We're going to bring more crews in, obviously, have a project manager over this, and begin putting more people on the ground simultaneously to do this kind of work throughout the city in both the Pequannock and the Wanacue system. So we're going to change all the lead service lines immediately.
What's the short-term plan if the tests come back and it's found to be still?
Well, we're going to continue to do what we've been doing. Obviously, we have to reconvene and talk about that. We're going to continue to distribute water. We're going to figure out if we need to invest in filters or some other kind of thing. But ultimately, our number one goal is to replace lead service lines. And if it comes back that way, we're going to work even more aggressively to get these lead service lines replaced even faster, which is why we decided that this is something when the county executive approached us to meet and say, let's talk about a larger solution. We thought it was important to have that because there's so much doubt created around these filters that we need to get the lead service lines completed in a more expeditious manner. Yes. Absolutely. So we've been talking to the state legislatures, particularly Essex County delegation, our senator here, about trying to create law or ordinance that would allow us to go on people's property and fix their lead service lines without their permission, mainly because Newark is a city of 70% renters, and we may not be able to get a hold of those landlords. So we want to pass legislation to be able to do that.
What's the plan to pay this money back, and what does that mean in terms of taxes for you?
Right, so we are not going to raise taxes for the residents of the city based on that. We're working actually on something else as we speak. I can't get into it right now, to be able to pay the debt service so the city is not on the taxpayer's head.
Some in the back.
Yeah.
You said earlier that the challenge was too important to ignore, but isn't that really why we're here today? Is that the challenge of replacing the lead service lines is not a new thing. This has been hovering around for many years. Isn't that why we're here today? Is that issue has been ignored?
I don't believe it's been ignored. They've been addressing it. Like he said, they're waiting for this testing. They test, they retest. The city has been taking action, with this as far as preventing, as far as bottled water. They've been putting filters in. They've been on top of it. The problem, it's not what we do in the past, it's what we're going to do in the future, how we're going to move forward, and how we're going to replace these lines. That's what I'm interested in right now. I want these lines to be replaced immediately, and whatever needs to be done, I know the mayor and his team is going to make that happen.
The corrosion control thing, is that still in effect for how these guys are going to be replaced?
Yes, ma'am.
Been approved by the state?
Yes. The corrosion control system has already been approved by the NJDEP. We had to get approval. We had to construct a system in order to do that. That happened in May. We began injecting the new corrosion control, the orthophosphate, into the water. It has had impact. We cannot definitively say scientifically, what the results of that. Maybe we can begin talking about that at the end of the year, which is why we began to give out filters, because we knew the corrosion control wouldn't start working to about 6 to 8 months.
Brenda, we got to go to Brenda. Brenda.
More than 700 people who have already had their lead lines replaced, who were able to be assessed $1,000, are they going to get that money back?
Well, they didn't pay anything yet. So no, because the way the first thing worked is you pay no money up front. In fact, we bill you 60 days after the phase is over. Then you have 12 months to pay that. But now they don't have to worry about that. They don't have to stress over that anymore. So they will not be billed.
Now that you've gotten the funds, can you determine where you're going to start replacing next, like the South Ward?
Well, obviously there are people who signed up, and we need to take care of them. What we're going to do aggressively is turn this into an opportunity for us to put together a team of folks that are going to go to every single 18,000 homes that exist in the city and get them to sign up for the lead service replacement line, and maybe try to get in touch with their landlord until we can get this legislation passed to force them to get it changed. One second. Go ahead.
How will oversight be different because we want to make sure that when there is a problem that it's addressed in fashion?
Well, the oversight is the same with the 770 lines that we replaced. The water department has oversight. Our business administrator oversight. The municipal council has oversight over these things. We have had no problem with the 770 that have been replaced. We don't anticipate any problems going forward. We think this is going to be a great opportunity for the city. It's a huge public works project, and also gives us an opportunity to get Newark residents to work as well. Yes, one, then you. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, these are vendors. This is the outside contract. Right now, there's a few contractors that are out there now. There was a public bid that was done. They won the contract through a public bidding process. Obviously, this is a emergency situation in terms of us, how expeditious we want to get this done. So we are probably going to find a way that we can bypass that and begin to appoint contractors to get this done for us quickly. Yes.
Time for two more, guys, two more.
Yes, yes.
I'm trying to understand whatever happened to the 30 school buildings.
Right.
When they were elevating the level.
Okay.
They're supposed to see why. They were across the city.
Well,
Back in 2016.
yes, that's because they had lead fixtures and lead sinks in their building, not because they had lead service lines. They had old fixtures. The school system has their own testing protocols. They have already passed those testing protocols. They either shut down the areas where the lead was or removed those fixtures from the building. So the lead fixtures have been used in this country for some time. Now it's illegal, it's banned to use lead fixtures. It's a small part of how lead exceedances come. The major part of it is through lead service lines. The schools don't have lead service lines. They had lead fixtures. They had lead fixtures. They don't have them anymore, and they have their own testing protocols in the school. And they've been doing a good job, and I know the superintendent has been working hard to make sure that is the case.
This is for the county executive.
Last one.
I just have a quick question for the county executive. I know you touched on this in your comments, but can you go into a little bit greater detail? You talked about the county's AAA bond rating.
Yes.
And maybe 5 years ago, this loan would not have been an option, but there are still going to be Newark residents who don't quite understand the math. They're going to ask the same question that you're hearing today, why wasn't this done sooner? So can you give us a little bit more detail, please, about the financial situation the county is in now to be able to provide this loan?
It didn't happen overnight that we became a AAA bond rating. It started when I became the county exec in 2003. Yeah, we had towns in our county that wanted to secede from Essex County, so there was really no confidence in county government at that point. It took a long time to get where we are today, which we're very proud of. Most people don't understand what a AAA bond rating. Maybe today, after today, people will learn and understand by having that how we could help towns and people that live in this county. This is a very serious issue, and we're confronting it. The thing is, it's, you know, whatever happened in the past, I don't mean to put you off, it's what we're going to do in the future and how we're going to get done. I told the mayor, I said, Mayor, the money's the easiest thing for us right now because we can do it. The thing is getting the job done. And I've been assured by the mayor that he's going to make this happen. And we're just very, very proud of where we're at this time. We're going to work very hard. And he's not there himself. The state's going to be with him and us. Now, Charlie asked the question in reference to money. This $120 million that we laid out, the city, of course, is going to pay debt service on that every year for the next 30 years, and we're going to be saving them between $15 and $20 million to do that. But we got to be able to get additional dollars to pay back that $120 million. I don't believe Newark should be paying. I believe we've been getting money from the state. I believe we should be getting money from the federal government. All right, but we couldn't wait for them to react. We had to do it first. And I told the mayor, we got to work hard now to making sure that, let people know things are not where they're supposed to be financially. Let's go out and make sure we get the money to help pay off that $120 million. And I'm sure we're going to do that.
I want to respond. Before that, I want to respond to this question. I apologize. Our first iteration of this was give people filters. Give people filters until we inject the orthophosphate. Once the orthophosphate is injected, it takes 6 to 8 months. We allow people to have filters. We gave them enough replacement cartridges for over a year until the orthophosphate began working, right? We engaged in a lead service line replacement that would take us 8 to 10 years. The orthophosphate works. Lead levels are down below required levels. We can work on a long-term fix to fix the lead service lines. Once there was doubt created about the filters, it sent us into overdrive in terms of how we needed to address this problem as quickly as we can. The county executive gave us a call. We went to the table. We constructed this opportunity, this deal, and so we get to replace these lead service lines in an incredibly fast time. And we're going to work on something as well so the city is not on the hook for the debt service.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. That's it. We're done. You're done. You're finished. You're done.